another man's game. You get it all, just don't feel the same. One man's pride is another man's shame. You're happy today, tomorrow your good time's gone away. Turn your back on who brought you here. Turn around and look and you know well, I got something that I need you to know. 'Cause you got a lot, don't mean you can't grow. No one wants to be alone. You build a house but not a home, and you got no place to go. I'm not saying I stayed too long. It's time for me to sing my own song. I just had to change the station. I had to find my own salvation. No one wants to be alone. You build a house but not a home. You got no place to go. You got no place to go. I'm just an honest man, struggling in the game. I'm not looking for fortune and fame. Just a little love to come my way. I'm just looking for what it takes. One man's loss is another man's gain. You get it all, just don't feel the same. One man's pride is another man's shame. You're happy today, tomorrow your good time's gone away. No one wants to be alone. You build a house but not a home. No place to go. No, no, no. You got no place to go.
Welcome to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, the full-time travel team on the Love Your Parks tour and publishers. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Kirk, we will get this together. At some point, your interview will air, I swear. Okay. All right, let's just... All right, welcome to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, the full-time travel team on the Love Your Parks tour and publishers of Big Blend magazines. You just heard No Place to Go, the first single from the Blues Pathway, which is the sixth and latest album by award-winning blues guitarist Kirk-Fletcher. It is out now through Cleopatra-Records, and you want to go check it out, go to kirkfletcherband.com. And Kirk, it is such a pleasure to have you on the show today. It's taken a while for us to get together, but we did it. How are you?
Absolutely. I'm doing fantastic. Hope all is well where you are, and I'm just trying to stay safe and, play some music here at the house.
Right on. So you live in Switzerland now?
Yes, I do for the last 4 years.
Oh, right on. So how does
Yeah.
Switzerland like the blues?
Well, Switzerland loves the blues. Europe in general loves the blues. There's a lot of blues festivals and things like that when there were festivals, and I would travel to Europe a lot, Switzerland and Germany, Scandinavia, the UK and Italy, all of those different places, and there's quite a big blues community here.
It's interesting. I think, Nancy, we always talk about this on shows, how, bands got to go from America to Europe. And I don't understand. I mean, the blues comes from America, right? I would say it's America and Africa,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's like, oh man, but this album from start to finish is incredible, and it feels real good. It gets down, it gets happy, it gets dirty, it gets everything in there, but the dynamics and the flow of it is amazing. And you worked with a lot of different people, some good friends of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. I played with some of my friends that I've known for many, many years, and some really long time friends, and a drummer, Dave Kidder, that I've played with off and on for 20 odd years or so, and we've just been in different bands together. So it was really great to come and just, kind of let our hair down and just play, and just make some music with me now singing, because way back then I didn't even sing. So, we put together, some songs, and we just had fun, and, the rest is history.
Well, this is interesting about it, because, I mean, you are known, you're an award-winning guitarist, and again, 6 albums, so you're racking up the albums here, but, you played with the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and, like, you get all these awards, you're moving forward and now getting into vocals, because, I mean, I can't believe that you weren't doing vocals before. When did that change up for you?
Well, I had a record that I attempted to sing a couple songs on, my Turn record for Eclecto Groove, and that was a few years ago. That was maybe 5 or 6 years ago that I done that record. No, wait a minute. That record was done like 10 years ago. So, yeah. But I was just attempting. I wasn't even really singing live when I done that record yet, So it was quite a process, but that's when I started, trying to do a little vocal, and then later I started to try and, write songs a little bit, too, on my last record. So yeah, it's been a sort of a process for me.
To me, I mean, it's like I remember when Eric Clapton, when they got him to start singing, but I mean, it's a natural all the way through, for you to be doing both of them. But does it hard? Like, I've done some band stuff in my past, and for me, I was more of a singer, more of the blues rock kind of thing, and going and trying to pick up a guitar, like, I couldn't do both. It was really hard to split my energy between the two things, and so my guitar playing totally sucked in a word compared.
Well, it for me too, and that's funny you brought up Eric Clapton, because he was like a person that I really he was one of the guys that gave me the confidence to really try and, Eric and Cream, he would sing a little bit on some songs, and then Jack Bruce would do more singing. And then it seems like this whole 70s decade, the decade of the 70s, was really Clapton really trying to find himself as an artist more so than just a guitar player. So it's funny because I wasn't per se so influenced by Clapton's guitar work, because I'm a child of the 80s. I always thought he was a magnificent guitar player. But that part of it, him becoming an artist, and then in the 80s and all of this, and then with the, Tears in Heaven and all that stuff, was really sort of a inspiration. I'm like, man, if he can do it, I should try and start, becoming more of an artist. Him along with other people like Gary Clark Jr. that I would see in clubs, when I was younger. He was younger. Yeah. He's younger than I am, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gary Clark Jr., yeah, man, but he's like, I think he's kicking some good butt out there for the blues scene. Yeah, he's kind of.
Absolutely.
shaking it up, and he's unapologetic. You know what I mean? A nice guy, but unapologetic. Yeah, straight up. This is how it is.
Absolutely.
Don't mess with him. Don't mess with me, man. You know,
totally.
I do want to tell you one of our good friends, Johnny Mastro, and he said that you've been on some of his albums from the Mama's Boys.
Yeah.
It was when we first tried to record. I think we went through a hurricane. I don't know. We've all been through things. This year.
That's right.
And he texted me, and he was saying to me, he was like, "No, Kirk was on this album, that album." He said, "Look, he's one of the best guitarists in the."
Good friend of mine.
He said, "You're like one of the best guitarists, and to be that high up in what you do, you're truly one of the truest and most honest, coolest, nicest people." Like he wrote this whole thing about you, like how you're just one of those genuine people that you don't always see in the industry, and that you were just really genuinely nice. So
Me and Johnny have definitely had some fun times together too, playing in Long Beach, and I would sit in and like you said, record on his record. It was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
Johnny's great.
And that's all about the LA scene, and it seems like the LA scene has changed up a little bit. He's out in New Orleans, and I know a lot of musicians that moved out to New Orleans about 5-7 years ago. You're in Switzerland. It seems like what happened in LA has changed up a bit.
Well, for me, before all of this that's going on now, I would still go to LA every 4 months, 3 or 4 months. So I was still in the scene a little bit, but the scene really did change because a couple clubs that me and Johnny both played, closed up. They closed down. So
like Babe and
really
Ricky's
hit the blues scene hard. Yeah, well, Babe and Ricky's is another one. We had the Cafe Boogaloo, and in Long Beach we had the Blue Cafe, and these are really clubs that I really learned how to play in. Blues playing, 3 sets a night, kind of clubs that. And Johnny, I would, see him when I first started coming out on the scene. So that changed. So then the scene changed, So there's this one club, this Cadillac, Zach, a friend of mine, he has this blues on the weekends and things, but it just changed. So I guess, it was really good for Johnny to move to New Orleans because it's a different kind of town.
Yeah, you got to change up a little bit with things,
Yeah.
With the album, though, was this recorded in L.A.? Where did you record it?
Yes, it was. Absolutely. It was recorded in L.A. and total comfort.
Cool.
It was like a bunch of friends getting together, and I got my songs, and we just played them. It was not much talk about it. I have a dear friend, Travis Carlton, and I just ran the ideas by him, and he was like, okay, got it. And that took a couple of hours, and then we went in the studio like the next day and cut, like 3 songs a day, and we could have cut more, but I always like to do like 3 or 4 songs, because it's, it's just more relaxing, more time for coffee and to hang out,
Yeah, well,
no
I think
pressure.
there's that relationship. It's like a camaraderie when you play together, and everybody has their space. If it's the right people, it just feels. Maybe that's part of the flow for the album because it does. And and the title "My Blues Pathway," I like that, and I like that we get to play "No Place to Go" because that's, to me, that I know it's the first single from the album, but that kind of goes with the whole it's like your musical journey listening to this album.
Yeah. Absolutely, because it's come right back to blues, and that was the whole. I just love that word. I'm so into words on this record, like pathway. My pathway led me back to what I love the most. In the way that kicked off my love for blues. It's like seeing blues live, and some of the players. I tip my hat to some of the players that I saw live when I was. First coming out and seeing music like Chris Kane and Benny Freeman and, different stuff like that. So it really is like that, and Robert Cray and all that stuff.
Yeah, because you think about how the younger blues scene, but then you got songs like "Fattening Frogs for Snakes." I'm like, dude, that's
Sonny
cool.
Boy. So Sonny Boy, I love it.
Yeah. So you
that's probably
that's an old one.
Yeah, that's like a holdover from like my days of backing up a lot of harmonica players out in the Southern California area, and Charlie Musselwhite and these different harmonica players. And Sonny Boy Williamson too really looms large in the harmonica language sort of. So it was just one thing that I really picked up on, and I really, really love Sonny Boy Williamson. So it was time to do my little version of that, I think.
But and then I want to play Life Gave Me a Dirty Deal, because
Sure.
he's got Charlie Musselwhite on there. Did you hear the album he did with Ben Harper?
Of course, absolutely.
Oh my God, was that not awesome?
It's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a team. Actually, they go back a long way, because I remember when I was in Charlie Musselwhite's band in the early 2000s, we opened a show in Paris, me and Charlie duo. So, I mean, they've known each other for a long time. I mean, and their collaboration together was fantastic. I thought that was perfect.
Well, I'm glad he's on your album. Let's play it,
Yeah.
because that's the other thing. Life Gave Me a Dirty Deal. When you think about a pathway, like you're talking about, like your blues pathway, and even when you think about the song No Place to Go, the two of them kind of go like bookends, because you can't get anywhere without tripping and detours and bumps, and then you get to that part where you just have that Life Gave Me a Dirty Deal, man, where, and then you have to okay, move on. You know?
And you go in front of people and you like smile, like you're happy and everything like this, and really deep down you're battling with something, and it's just like kind of that perspective of, hey, these people might be laughing, but they might be really going through something. So you have to really be careful and kind and think about what you say. I always think about like the comedian Robin Williams, and people like that. So I just kind of wanted to blend and, connect the blues and everything in 2020 and have this like old with the new and just bring a different spin on it, my own personal, spin on it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are feeling that they got a dirty deal with this COVID thing happening. And, it's like, we look at the world, we travel full time in this one detour, and from, touring.
Yeah.
One road, detour after the other. There's hurricanes. It's been floods, fires, and it's just like sometimes. But I feel like the more we can, soak up music, it's a way to positively channel out the depression or the anger, because depression and anger kind of go hand in hand. And I mean, there's all the protests and the civil unrest, the social unrest that's, going not just in this country, but around the world. And I feel like music is the one thing that can bring us together, music and food.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are two things that I've been enjoying quite well. That's the only positive thing out of this, probably, is the music and the food, becoming a better cook, where my lady is becoming a better cook, and I'm becoming a better eater and buying a lot of records. So there you go.
Hey, that sounds like a good party to me, man. Heck yeah. Well, here it is. Let's play this, everyone. Here it is. Life Gave Me a Dirty Deal, and I went off and went cooking.
All right.
Fattened up some frogs and ate some snakes. Now, here it is.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
You don't know how I feel. Yes, I'm smiling like I'm happy, but you don't know how I feel. like it is. I drink to keep from worrying. I'm trying to hold back my tears. I smile like I'm happy, but you don't know how I feel. I feel like life is a cheater, and it gave me a dirty deal. Understand, my baby don't love me no more. She got herself another man. I'm smiling like I'm happy, but you don't know how I feel. I feel that life is a cheater, and it gave me a dirty deal.
You're listening to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, and you just heard, oh my gosh, one of my favorite songs on the album. It's Life Gave Me a Dirty Deal, and it's by Kirk-Fletcher. That's off of his album. It's out now, My Blues Pathway. Now, Life Gave Me a Dirty Deal was written by Juke Boy Bonner. Kirk, who is Juke Boy Bonner? For those of us it's the first time I've heard of him.
Juke Boy Bonner is a Texas blues musician who played the harmonica, sang, and guitar all at the same time, sort of in the fashion of like Jimmy Reed or Bob Dylan or someone like that, you know. And it's really the thing that resonates most with me about Juke Boy Bonner is this recording, this song, you know, just a man with a guitar and a harmonica singing about something that we all can relate to, we can understand so directly, you know, and that's what I love about a lot of blues. You know exactly what he's talking about. It's no, you know, play with words. It's just straight to the point, you know.
Yeah.
And Juke Boy Bonner is just amazing. And he has a lot of songs like this. He was a fantastic, you know, poet for the blues, just like Sonny Boy Williamson, you know.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're, you know, keeping their music alive too, carrying that torch forward, but also, you know, not cluttering it up, because that's the thing, man. When there's a song like that, it's so straight and raw and like real, you know.
Yeah.
And when if it's overplayed, there's such an art to just keeping things simple, man. It's like good food doesn't need to have 20,000 ingredients. You know, it's just straight up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Keep it simple. Yeah. Now on that too, you've got your friend Josh Smith playing. Now he's playing a
Yeah.
national, right? On there.
Yeah, he's playing the national on that song.
Sweet.
And, me and Josh have known each other for a long, long time now. It's my guitar partner, brother, and we're just, two peas in the pod, as they say.
The other part of this with, this being your blues pathway, my blues pathway, again, everyone through Cleopatra-Records. And Cleopatra is cool, man, because they have a whole blues side of their label, and I think that's an important thing. We got to have blues. We got to have a place for the blues.
Absolutely.
One part of it is like there's the emotional part. There's the journey of, the ups, downs, and all that good stuff and the in-betweens. But the album, to me, also feels like a journey of places. When you hear a song like Life Gave Me a Dirty Deal, I feel like I'm more in the swampy lands. I'm going back to Louisiana, Mississippi, like East Texas, Southwest. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that kind
Absolutely.
I feel that on the album, too. Just the regions.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I mean, for me being more of a modern artist, blues player, modern, you kind of, being a person that's played with different, people, you really do have to know something about Texas blues, Chicago blues, Delta blues, all of those different things, because the music, in one given night when I would play like with Kim Wilson in the solo band, we would play everything from Excello record style stuff, all the way to Chicago to, I mean, and when I say Excello, I mean like, Slim Harpo or Lightning Slim or something like that, as well as Jimmy Rogers, Muddy Waters, Sonny Boy, and all that kind of stuff too. And, Uptown blues, like T-Bone Walker style. So, in one night you playing all those different styles of blues, and they're so different,
You've also played with, artists like Joe Bonamassa, too. I mean, it's like you start to think, you played with all styles here, which is cool.
Yeah, that is quite different. I mean, that's because I'm weird.
No. See, listen, we're the big blend,
super
right?
different, but
don't pigeonhole though. You know what I mean? It's like the blues. That's the thing, man. The blues is like you can go all in. There's just so many ways to play the blues, and to feel it.
Absolutely.
So it's not weird.
Yeah.
I don't think. But then weird's good. Weird's all good. But
good.
I mean, playing with all these different people and then having, different friends play with you on the album, that's exciting, too. Yeah, the album,
Absolutely.
we're going to play Love is More Than a Word. Tell us a little bit about that, because we'll close off our segment with that. But to me, that's a big, you were saying earlier, a big ballad, and I think people, they want to feel that,
Yeah. Well, that song was inspired by Southern soul music. Southern soul music is sort of like, Stax Records, High Records, and Muscle Shoals and things like that. When you think of Wilson Pickett and you think about, the Staple Singers and Otis Redding and all of these wonderful O.V. Wright and things. And there was this particular guitar player named Eddie Hinton, and he was a guy that played with a lot of great soul artists, as well as Bobby Womack and Staple Singers and all that stuff. So he had this record that had like a lot of his songs that he wrote in their bare form, really stripped down, like the demo sessions or something it was called. So he had this song, and it just really inspired me to hear that music like that. Then I had a friend that was going through sort of a rough road with his marriage, so that it just all resonated with me so much, and that's how I started to think about this song, and my friend Richard Cousins helped me hash out some of the lines in it too. So, yeah.
So more, because you don't get to have a journey, right? You can't go down the pathway and get somewhere on the pathway without some friends. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Richard wrote No Place to Go with you as well, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, those are the two co-writes on the record. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So now, we're hoping like eventually we can all start traveling and seeing concerts in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to feel that energy.
Absolutely.
Do you teach, or what are you doing now in between time while it's all COVID up? I mean, is it snowing and making you want to have cookies and more good food?
Well, I always want to have cookies, but right now I just kind of like when this all started, I started to do online little talks and chats and demonstrations on some of my things, that I've learned over my 30 years or more of playing. I've just been posting these videos on YouTube. People seem to like it and doing a lot of stuff on Instagram. Been doing a lot of podcasts with people and videos and things and, promoting this record. And I believe that I'm going to just, kind of delve into that more, but more not so much teaching, but just more, giving advice and talking about things and music and things that I love and hold dear to my heart. That's more where I am, because I'm a terrible teacher.
But I think it's really helpful to have that connection with people, especially up and coming guitarists and musicians.
Absolutely.
Coming into this, into the world of music now has got to be kind of daunting. At one point, it was like, oh, go get the big record deal, but now it's like you can put your own music out, or have a good record company like Cleopatra. That's more of the. I feel like they're more independent. Like they're not, they're good. And then it just feels like it's a scary time too. Now it's like, what do we do about performances and stuff? So I think for those that are getting started, it's got to help to have someone like you, as a veteran and playing the blues out there and showing them some stuff and just kind of like, hey, you can still keep going on. Absolutely.
So I definitely just want to keep going with that, because that makes me, able to get through these times. If I could share some of my experience and things like that, I mean, for me, that's really, really cool. So I'm going to really take advantage of this time for that and just try and get into more music and, records that I love and practice singing and writing some more songs,
Oh, awesome. I like to hear about new music. Now, how many guitars do you have?
Oh, my goodness. I have probably way too many guitars. I have probably, I would say 30 guitars, 25, 30 guitars, maybe.
Wow. What did you start with? What was your very first one?
Oh, yeah. Well, my first guitar was a Stratocaster.
Okay. And how old were you? Were you a kid at that point?
Yeah. I got my first Strat when I was probably about, I would say 9 to 10 years old. Yeah.
And did you want to play blues then, or did you play rock or gospel? What was going on as a kid at that age?
Well, my father was a pastor of a church, so I grew up playing in church, for a long time, well into my 20s. So I started playing gospel music, and Southern gospel and Church of God in Christ, holiness, style church is very bluesy. It's very, so those kind of things kind of go together. And I just think that blues was always there for me. I always liked it. It never was I had to get into it or anything. And then when I was about 13, my older brother, who got me started playing guitar, took me to an Albert Collins concert. So I was, over. I was done after that.
I watched this. The one thing I think about now in music is great is YouTube. All these concerts I never got to see.
Absolutely.
Albert Collins and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was watching that the other night. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Oh, you can't. I mean, seriously.
Absolutely.
I would have given anything to have been there, but to be able to actually watch it, and just that was. To be able to have that we do have those things for everyone now, especially to start kind of going back in the history and dig. Albert Collins, I still think he's one of the best in the world.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally good. Totally good. Well, I'm glad to hear you've got new music coming out. We're really glad we could finally connect and get you up on the show.
Yeah.
And everyone, again, the album is called My Blues Pathway. It's out through Cleopatra-Records. You can go and keep up with Kirk. Go to KirkFletcherBand.com. And we want to thank the National Parks Arts Foundation for sponsoring today's show. They're awesome. If you're an artist, a musician, a painter, a poet, go and apply to get one of their residencies in a national park for a full month. You could be staying in Hawaii on the beach, to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. You could go to Dry Tortugas National Park and stay on your own private island for a month. And all you get to do is create. I mean, seriously. It's cool.
Wow.
How does the beach sound to you right now, Kirk?
I would totally be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, Hawaii sounds really good to me. So the Dry Tortugas sound good, and then they've got places like in Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. All these just really deep, historic. Yeah, it's super cool. It's a cool program. So everyone, it's nationalparksartsfoundation.org. Check that out. And we're going to close the segment. We're going to play that big ballad because we all need one. And I think love is more than a word, and we got to keep love moving forward through all of this stuff that's going on in the world. Just keep love out, period. That's
Absolutely.
it. All right, so here it is. Love is more than a word. Thank you so much, Kirk. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, too. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care. Explain love. You just feel it in your soul. The more you give, the more your heart takes control. I had a love that I held very close to my heart, and with the storms of life, we drifted far apart, and through the years, we shared so much. Shared so much. Our love
more than a melody your heart sang. I tried to get away, but that pull was just too strong. And I had a love that I held very close to my heart.